Winning money for you guys, winning money for myself, and winning money for my KJK VIP 3. The things that make me happy. We're looking to do that here tonight for you guys with a full six-pick flex for this Thursday night football match between the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins. Before we get into that, though, guys, I want to fill you in on a little bit of some secret sauce here. 30 seconds of your time. Been absolutely crushing on esports over on Underdog Fantasy. I want to give them a shout out and I want to let you guys know about this opportunity. I know the NFL's back. I know everyone's really excited about NFL. I've been grinding on some esports in the background though, and has been paying off big time. Have hit not one, not two, but three picks to 6x my money on Underdog Fantasy in a row. Right here, you see 250 into 1510.77. Right here, 250 into 1407.71. And right here, 250 into 1374.40. You should 6x your money if you have the standard pick'em in your state. The reason mine is altered is because I'm in a champion state where we're in it will kind of fluctuate around 6x. Sometimes you're going to get paid out more than that 1,500. Sometimes you're going to get paid out a little bit less. But you can 6x your money on three picks on Underdog Fantasy, and they are matching your first deposit up to $1,000 right now. You can get access to every single one of these plays as soon as I place them over in the VIP. I'm going to be giving you guys a free VIP slip for this Thursday night football matchup here shortly. But two reasons this is really valuable. One, you cannot 6x your money on three picks on any other app other than Underdog Fantasy. The three picks you're only going to 5x. And two, you just simply cannot get this kind of value on other apps. So I want to fill you guys in on the secret sauce as far as Underdog Fantasy Esports. It's been going really well. If you want to get access to all my plays, jump in the Discord, guys. You can see here, $30 win here for BMW Trey. Shout out to every single one of these guys. My own you already saw. You can see another $25.50 win here for Hawk J. Cat Daddy Riley with $48 win. BMW Trey with another win here. Hawk J again with that $5 entry, turning it into some more cash. Emula's been absolutely crushing. I know Talon, the esports plays a $90 win here, a $30 win. I can see on the screen racking up his Underdog Fantasy account. So we're going to get into the football, but if you want access to every single one of my plays as soon as I place them, I know football is back. I know we're all really excited about it, myself included. And we're going to be breaking down the six-pick flex here that I just placed, that I just sent over there shortly. This is how you're going to join and get access to all these plays as soon as I place them, right? I'm giving you guys actual VIP slips for free on the channel, as many as I can, but I can't be on video 24/7. I can't be on stream 24/7. And these Underdog Fantasy plays don't last long. So I'm just going to keep it real with you. The only way you're really going to be able to get these from me is by being a VIP member. I'm going to try to maybe come on some more esports streams as I continue to get better and better. My confidence on these esports plays is really growing a ton. If you go to my YouTube community page, you're going to see all of the wins. Just head on over there. The Underdog Fantasy wins I'm always posting to kind of keep you guys in the loop as to what's going on over in the VIP. So yeah, number one, they're going to match you all the way up to $1,000. It's a 50% deposit match. So if you put in 2,000, they're going to give you that full 1,000. If you put in 1,000, they're going to give you 500. So that is a massive deposit match I want you guys to take advantage of with my link and my code KJKDFS. That's the one good thing. Second good thing is you can 6x your picks on the three picks, which you can't do on any other app. And the third thing is I'm just simply finding better value on these esports plays than I can get on any other app. Like, it's far succeeding Prizepicks and these other apps right now. So, yeah, like I said, my goal is to always help you make money. And we're going to look to do that here tonight for you in this Thursday night football matchup. Prizepicks, you can also get a nice $50 when you play $5 instantly with my code KJKDFS. I will also have a link down below for that, KJKDFS, and my links will be down below, pinned in the top comment and in the description for everything that you need. Lastly, the tool that I'm using to find all those esports plays, I want to give them a shout out because it has been a big part of my success, is the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer. We'll be talking about that throughout this video, so I'll make it short and sweet for you right now. Same thing, KJKDFS, just use my links, it'll make it easy on you. 25% off this tool. We'll be talking about some NFL props, but this is the tool that I'm using for those Underdog Fantasy plays and the tool that I'm using for all my esports plays. They're the only platform really. There's a ton of different sports books and stuff that cover real sports, but esports Daily Grind is really going to hook you up with that. It's the same tool that I'm using. So if you're not interested in my VIP and you're someone that likes to do your own research, this is really what I would recommend. If you just want the play sent to you right away, you can just have to copy. The VIP is going to be where it's at. You want to do your own research, this is where you're going to want to be. Daily Grind. So let's get into it. let's talk about it. We're going to talk about a lot of really valuable concepts in this video. So I talked about finding the best value on all apps right there in that little intro for you guys. Correlation is going to be the theme of today's video. So Prizepicks has gone ahead and changed their app. By the way, one of these plays just got bumped up. And it just got bumped up again. All right, so in real time, these plays are going to be bumped. These plays are going to change because that's what happens when you get good value in these apps. Don't want to give you, good value. I got this line at 513.5. I'm still going to go ahead and promote it to you guys here on the channel here today. But for full transparency, the passing yards combo. This is the full 6-pick flex that I locked in. We're going to discuss. Prizepicks has gone ahead and shifted their payouts, guys. Right? So you can't use the same QB and wide receiver on passing yards without your payout getting shifted oftentimes. So it was a concept that I want to discuss. Let's say I go ahead and add Josh Allen and Khalil Shakir. You're going to see immediately on my screen, it says payout shift, 2.5x. Now, typically on a 2-pick on Prizepicks, they're going to pay you out 3x. Why are they shifting our payout down to 2.5x? On 2 picks, I'm supposed to get 3x. Well, because it's such a good play, you're getting an advantage on taking the over on Josh Allen and Khalil Shakir, that if you were to do that over the time, Prizepicks is saying we're going to get beat too badly. It's correlating the play, right? Because if Josh Allen goes over his passing yards, it's more likely that the Khalil Shakir goes over his receiving yards, and everyone can just take the overs, and over time, Prizepicks is saying, we're going to lose too much money. Same thing with this. They're going to shift your payout if you were to run a 3-pick. 3 correct, they're only going to pay you out 4.25x. This should be 5x typically, right? So I've gone ahead and got creative with this ticket construction, which we'll break down right now. James Cook is the only guy we can add receiving yards with these other props and the payout not shift. If we add Keon Coleman, if we add Khalil Shakir, with the props that I've selected, the payout is going to shift. Okay, so I've already gone ahead and done that work for you guys. But we can get the James Cook, along with the Keon Coleman receptions, the Dalton Kincaid receptions, the Tyreek Hill fantasy score, and Jalen Waddle. Same thing, if I were to go ahead and add Tyreek Hill's receiving yards rather than his fantasy score, you're going to see we're no longer getting 25x. We're now only getting 22x. So we don't want that. We never want to play a payout shift, but we want to be getting the maximum correlation that we can, and we're going to be stacking up this game. This game comes in with a 49 over-under, 23.75 implied total for the Miami Dolphins, a 23.25 implied total for the Miami Bills. You look at the weather report in this game, because I already know there's going to be people commenting it's going to be raining. I always look at the weather. Weather is one of the most overreacted to things in NFL betting. It can oftentimes lead to a bunch of people taking unders on games that end up being completely fine, and I think this could be a perfect example. Scattered storms Thursday afternoon gradually dissipate as the evening comes. A few lingering showers possible, but wouldn't expect a full washout in game. So we're looking at maybe sprinkles. Possibly it's not even raining come game time. It's raining in the evening before the game actually starts. So if you're watching content where people out there saying, it's going to be raining, the pass game is going to be affected, that happens so often during NFL season when, come game time, it might not even be raining anymore. So you need to find a very valuable, weather report research. I recommend Kevin Roth. This is my guy. If you didn't know, he's on Twitter. If you go to my Twitter and see who I'm following, you'll be able to see that I follow him. Very reliable for weather data. Anywho's, 49 over-under, right? First thing that sticks out to me is both of these teams, we only have 1 week under our belt, right? It's new NFL season. We're only dealing with week 1 data. They had different matchups, etc. We can break down that. But both these teams look terrible in coverage. The Miami Dolphins have the second worst coverage rating in the entire NFL after week 1. A 46.8 coverage rating in their secondary is terrible. And then the Buffalo Bills come in as the 10th worst with a 57.8 coverage grading. So we're looking at a game script that could funnel to the passing game, being that both these secondaries really did struggle. And I want to be taking advantage once again. So we're getting good correlation. Both these secondaries have really struggled. And then the other thing I want to talk about is snap count. Kind of discussed it, but there's certain props that I just can't put in here without the payout shift. I've got Tyreek Hill going over his fantasy score. He's the best fantasy score prop, and being that I can get a full 25x with this combination, do want to be going with him. James Cook was the only guy I could add with receiving yards. He is the running back. That's going to give us the best correlation that we can get because we can only get 1 receiving yards prop in this ticket without the payout shifting from each team. So I got the Jalen Waddle receiving yards. I like his 65.5 discount compared to the Tyreek Hill, and I like Tyreek Hill's fantasy score the most because he has the most upside. I do have him projected over in multiple models. I mean, this guy's a target share beast. He can get you there in so many ways. He can get the receptions. I've got models getting him 28. I've got models with him getting 24. I've got models with him getting 22. Bunch of different models saying that Tyreek Hill should go over 25.75 implied total. And then he is the most likely to score, according to DraftKings Sportsbook, minus 125 anytime TD score. That's the most heavily juiced prop on the board for his touchdown. Do you prefer fantasy score because of the correlation of the passing yards we're talking about? I know it's not his receiving yards. We discussed the payout shift. That's why I can't do that. We're going to take the Water receiving yards. But Tyreek Hill is a guy that can get you there in so many different ways, man. I mean, his target share is through the roof. It's PPR format. You get a point for every single reception. 12 targets, 7 receptions last game. If you go to his receptions prop on the Prizepicks board, you're going to see it's at a push number because he is heavily favored 6.5 or heavily favored under 7.5. So not a lot of edge in that prop. I would much rather go with his fantasy score as discussed, which goes nicely with the 6-pick flex that we're running here that I'm discussing throughout this video. So talked about some concepts, talked about these two secondaries. It's a pretty simple concept, but once again, it's kind of difficult to build out on Prizepicks now. If I were to take Cook receiving yards away and go with another guy, such as like a Dawson Knox, the 13.5 receiving yards, once again, my payout is shifted. So I really had to mess around with these 6 props to find like what can I get with the best correlation possible that's not going to shift. And as I stated, James Cook is the one guy I'm able to throw in here at the 18.5 line that gets us a full 25x. Snap count. The reason I'm going with the Keon Coleman and the Dalton Kincaid receptions is because they by far led the Buffalo Bills in snap count from their wideouts in week 1. Dalton Kincaid, 87.9% of the snaps. Keon Coleman, 72.4% of the snaps. Being that we cannot take the receiving yards and we have to go to a different prop to not shift our payout, I'm going with the receptions, and I want the guys that are going to be out there on the field for the most amount of snaps. We're going for as much upside as we could possibly get in this ticket, right? It's kind of self-explanatory. In order for guys to rack up those, the points, they need to be out there on the field. Dawson Knox has been cutting into Kincaid's snap count a little bit as far as the passing and the run blocking, but once again, he still played 90% of the snaps. They're kind of splitting at the tight end position. Keon Coleman, very clearly the top wide receiver. They drafted him in, the 2nd round this year, very high on him, 33rd overall pick or something, I think. And he's the top priority. He's like the replacement for Stephon Diggs, the guy that they're really looking to have a bright future. Matt Collins, veteran receiver. Curtis Samuel, veteran receiver. They're just mixing him in. Khalil Shakir was around last year. You can see only a 27% snap count for him. 53, 56, 60, and 60. So give me the 2 guys with the most upside in the receptions category, which are the 2 guys that are going to be in the field the most. Dalton Kincaid, Keon Coleman. 72.4% of the snaps. Coleman was out there. Kincaid, 87% of the snaps. Okay, right? I don't want to be messing around with Samuel, who's only out there for 27. These guys could hit their props, but once again, we're talking about a full 6-pick construction where we're wanting to maximize our upside. You look at the Miami Dolphins side of things. Jalen Waddle, 72% of the snaps. Tyreek Hill, 70% of the snaps. We know they're number 1 and number 2 in the Miami pass game. There's no guessing with the Miami Dolphins. It's number 1. It's number 2. It's yin and yang. They're going to begin all of that action, right? So, if you're new to Prizepicks or you don't really know how these apps work, like Tua and Josh Allen are getting bumped up like crazy now, man. I'm going to still say that you guys can go ahead and play these guys, but I can't do anything about this. They're up to 517.5. This is why if you get my VIP, man, we got this line at 513.5. So I sent this in immediately as soon as I placed it. I was able to construct a full-on, nicely constructed, 6-pick flex with no payout shift. That correlates very nicely with a bunch of reasoning behind it, as I've discussed throughout this video. So James Cook, the only guy I could get in the construction that correlates well with those over receiving yards, that doesn't shift our payout. So, like, yes, take that correlation. Keon Coleman and Dalton Kincaid, by far the two guys that led this Bills team in snap count in week 1. So I want the guys with the most upside that I can get without that payout shift. I can't get any other prop that's not going to shift my payout, like a receiving yards prop. I could get fantasy score, but I want the receptions. I prefer the receptions. If they're catching the ball, there's going to be yards gained from the arm of Josh Allen. And 87% of the snaps, 72% of the snaps. What gives us the most upside? The two guys that are out there on the field for the most snaps. Okay? So there's the reasoning there. Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill, I had to throw a fantasy score in here to not shift the payout, and I have Tyreek Hill. I mean, there's just so many ways this guy can get you here. We talked about, where his receptions line is set at here on Prizepicks. And they just keep bumping this play, man. So that sucks, but he's all the way up to 7 receptions. That's 7 fantasy points. That's what he's projected to get, 7 receptions tonight without factoring in any receiving yards and no touchdowns. If he wants to catch 2 touchdowns for us, that'd be fantastic. We'll take it any way we can get it. If he wants to go out there and get 15 catches, which he is very capable of with the amount of targets he's getting, we'll take that. It's a PPR format. For those of you that don't know, we'll just break down the Prizepicks fantasy scoring format for you real quick. For the offensive players, receiving touchdowns, 6 points. Receptions, you get 1 point for every reception. Fumbles lost is -1. 2-point conversions is 2. So it is standard point per reception, scoring for those of you that play fantasy football. I'm sure many of you watching this content do. That's kind of how it's going to break down. So yeah, man, this video, it's a 1-game slate. And we're looking to get a full 6-pick flex. So I kind of went more into like the roster construction or the ticket construction aspect in this one. A lot of times you're going to see me break down, the individual statistics and the value, using tools such as a Daily Grind Fantasy, which we could certainly do. We don't want to be going against the market as much as possible. So like if we type in, James Cook's receiving yards, we would prefer that he's not like heavily favored. He's actually projected to go over the 18.5. A lot of markets have him at 19.5 or the 21.5, right? So that makes us happy. That's our first leg. Keon Coleman, the over 3.5 receptions. Let's go ahead and type him in real quick. You can see he's favored to go over. It's actually his best prop in the entire board. -120 juice on the over on DraftKings, -123 on the over on Pinnacle, -130 on the over on Bovada. Hot streaks at -169. A lot of people really favoring Keon Coleman's over receptions over there, clearly. Dalton Kincaid's receptions, what is the Vegas data telling us for him? You can see they are leaning slightly towards his under, but nothing crazy. He was actually seeing some pretty aggressive juice on his under to start things out during the week, like a day ago. This actually makes me happy. The juice is kind of dialing back more towards his over, which was something I did factor in. He was at like -130, I think, on the under at DraftKings at one point. So that shifted all the way to like even money. Being that he's out there on the field for the most amount of snaps and being that I'm seeing those lines kind of shift more towards his over, that makes me happy. And then the Tyreek Hill DGF is going to pull in, some fantasy score data for us. Does look like they're slightly towards his under, but nothing crazy. They've got him for like 19.5. I factor in a lot of projection models when it comes to fantasy scores specifically. And then Jalen Waddle, I think he might be the one. I mean, his line's been shifting like crazy. It does look like the over 65.5 is favored here because we have him up to like 69 on hot streak. He is the one guy that we've seen his line kind of go up a little bit. He was at 64.5 at one point on Prizepicks, I know. But anyways, yeah, guys, there's a full 6-pick flex for you guys. We talked about some concepts in this one. Talked about some statistics, all the stuff that's going into these plays. Hopefully this was valuable. Once again, Underdog Fantasy, I do kind of want to let you guys know what's going on behind the scenes in my VIP and just let you know, if I'm making money, I want you guys to be making money. So these CS2 plays have been fantastic. They just don't last long, guys. They really don't. So the value pops. I send into my Discord right away. You can lock in. Same thing with the NFL props. Underdog Fantasy, the one thing about their app is it's fantastic, but the lines change so quick. So when I place this, it's like they might get taken off the board, or 9-10 at 29.5 kills, for instance, he might go up to 31.5 real quick. A lot of times these plays are like 2 off the market. So yeah, deposit match up to $1,000 will be linked below in the description. My Patreon, my VIP Discord is linked below in the description, and I'll pin it as a top comment as well. This is an actual play that I am actually playing. As you can see, that I did send over to my VIP. I'm sharing it here with you guys here for free on the channel. It's a 1-unit play, and I talked about all the different concepts, right? So just to prove to you that I did send this in, right? You get this sent in as soon as I place it over in the VIP. So you can see Tua and Josh Allen, we got them at 513.5 on my ticket and my VIP members. They've now been bumped all the way up to 517.5. So there's a perfect example. That's going to happen every single day. When you're getting good value, you know, when you're constructing these tickets a certain way, Prizepicks, they're going to adjust those lines. So once again, Prizepicks, KJKDFS, I'll have all my links down below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully this ticket can help you out, win a bunch of money. Hopefully this content helps you out, win a bunch of money. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell on your way out the door, please, if you enjoyed. Thanks for tuning in. Wishing you all the best of luck on your Prizepicks NFL player props for this Thursday night football matchup between the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins, and we will see you in the next one.